I wanted to share with you a couple of really cool, well-made, well-flaked, well-etched, well-executed, and with perimeters that were profiled just absolutely beautifully, Paleo Story Stone face and Mammoth Effigies. The one on the right is rose quartz crystal from Madagascar. And the one on the left is naturally occurring volcanic glass from Mount Shasta, California. And I believe that the Mount Shasta, California piece is a Clovis specimen dating from around 12 to 14,000 years before present. And the one on the right probably, certainly over 12,000 years ago, because Paleo Story Stones were only made during the Paleolithic period. But the rose quartz crystal one from Madagascar could go way back. It could go way back. And we're going to find that the one on rose quartz to the right there we're going to find that's a beautiful, beautiful knife blade. That was made as a beautiful, beautiful knife blade. And the one on the left is in the form of a Clovis scraper with a beautiful blade edge as well. So I wanted to start with the rose quartz crystal one. And what we see here, they made this intentional, by the way, this face, this eye, little headband there, this eye, and the face looking off from the back of this mammoth. This is a mature mammoth with its big sweepy trunk coming down to the left. And Madagascar rose quartz is outstanding. I've collected rocks for most of my life, and I'm familiar with most types of rocks. And Madagascar rose quartz is really gemmy quality. It's more of an optic quality quartz, and it has great hues of pink, tending towards lavender. Just a wonderful stone. Now, Brazilian rose quartz is also very, very attractive and very gemmy as well. Some of that Brazilian material is quite good. But I would have to say that this Madagascar rose quartz is truly outstanding. And with this big sweeping mammoth sweeping off to the left, its eye right up here, that dot right up there, flaked out. And then the big trunk coming down to the left, and then this face looking up from the back of the mammoth is really interesting. Now, what we're going to see with this piece here, too, is that this piece was made as a knife. So that whole blade edge, that's a very, very long blade edge. That's a big knife, by the way. That's a Paleolithic knife held like this, and it was used probably as a scraper, hide scraper knife. And it's also got a blade edge on this side as well. This side as well. And you can see the edges are ground in Paleo times. The Paleolithic Indians did that when they made effigies out of crystal type material. Now we have that face looking off from the back of the mammoth to the left. The face looking off to the left. And that's a mature charging type mammoth there. Now, this has all been etched, so the beautiful engraving there for the hair of the mammoth draping down. Very nice engraving there. And then we have the big sweepy trunk facing off to the right. And then it's made to stand up. So we have that mature mammoth now facing off to the left. And then when we hold it this way, now we have a baby mammoth. That's its little beak of a trunk over here. We have another face with the eye chipped out and the nose, mouth looking off from the back of the baby mammoth right there. Eye, nose. And then the big hair tuft, massive hair tuft above the head with the eye here. That's the baby trunk down here. So now we have the baby mammoth facing off to the right with its little baby trunk. A bird beak type trunk. We see this over and over and over and over and over again. It's nothing really unusual there. And then when we hold it this way, we have a mature mammoth that's now facing off to the right. That's another mature mammoth with a big sweepy trunk facing off to the right. You can see the hair has been beautifully engraved into the stone. And these are old. So these have been weathered some as well. And then we have that, again, mature mammoth, charging type mammoth facing off to the right. Just outstanding flaking. What a blade edge that is. This is a great paleo scraper knife that was converted at the end of its useful life expectancy. and made into a Paleo Story Stone facing Mammoth Effigy. Now on this one we have a very interesting example here as well. We have this is the eye. This bubble is the eye of the baby mammoth with his little baby trunk in the lower left and massive hair tuft above the head. We also have a face with this, the eye, nose, and mouth looking up from the back of the mammoth there. And these from Mount Shasta, I believe, are Clovis. This is in the form of a Clovis scraper. Look at that blade edge. Another one similar to this. This is from Madagascar. This is from Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta is Clovis. I have Clovis bifaces. This is Mount Shasta. That's a Clovis biface there. And I have even some that are much finer than that. These are beautifully, beautifully flaked to a ridge there like that. And it's in the form of a kind of a handheld scraper. These are outstanding workmanship, pieces of art. These are magnificent pieces of Paleolithic art. Here's the eye of the baby mammoth, the bubble that comes to the surface, the trunk, well patinated, I might add, still dirt in the devices and everything. And then we have the massive hair tuft above the head. And then when we hold it this way, wow, just an outstanding mature mammoth with this, the eye, and then the big trunk sweeping off to the right. Oh my God, that is an outstanding. Then we have an eye and a nose, mouth of a face looking up from the refraction of light coming off from the back of the mammoth. These were done so wonderfully. This is Clovis at its best. We have an eye of a young face with a pointed nose and a mouth facing off to the right, and then that same eye with a big sweepy nose of an old face looking off to the left. So we have made to stand upright, but the mature mammoth now facing off to the left. Wow. You see, the edges of this have all been ground, just like at the base of Clovis points. So the Clovis people, along with most paleo peoples that made these effigies, did grind the edges of the crystalline type material that they would etch. Now that's all etched. That's not fractures in the glass. That's actually been etched into grooves that you can easily see, especially with a magnifying glass if you need to. Now this, I can see it with the naked eye, and the etching goes right up over the ridges of the flaking scars. Now you have that mature mammoth's big sweepy trunk, eye right there, the bubble looking off to the left. Wow! Just another outstanding pair of Paleolithic Story Stone facing mammoth effigies. I acquired these rose quartz ones 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, from rock dealers. Of course, they didn't know that they were effigies. They didn't know that they were artifacts. They didn't know they were flaked or etched or tools or anything. I just bought them as rough about 4 years ago, shortly after my discovery of Paleo Story Stone effigies, as I did most of the volcanic glass, because I saw that these were effigies. Once I saw they were effigies, I knew they were Paleolithic. And they were made in Paleolithic times. So just wanted to share a couple of real beauties, Mount Shasta on the left and Madagascar on the right.